Hello guys, you're welcome to Crystal's show. We've been on lockdown slash isolation, but for the period being it's been lifted, so we are outside, and that's why we are here. Because of how pressing the issue is right now, from our previous posts, find out that we are on the topic abuse, and right now we are on child abuse. That's why I have two wonderful people here with me. Meet Miss Demia George and Mr. Mark Ingwe. To say hi to our viewers.
Hello, it's good to be here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so today in our society presently, we don't even know who is who again because of the way they school children. We don't know if it's they are trying to abuse the child or they are trying to correct the child. We can't really tell. At some point, it's looking like abuse, and that's why we are on this topic. So please, Mark, what is child abuse?
Okay, thank you very much. Child abuse is any behavior that is targeted at harming a child. So we're not just talking about correction. It goes beyond correction. It has crossed a line and it becomes abuse. And there are different forms of child abuse.
Okay, so Sama, can you add to that?
Okay, child abuse, like she has rightly said, has different forms. First of all, who is a child? A child is somebody that is below the age of 18 and so forth. So a child can be abused in several ways. It can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be sexual, it can be neglect. So all of these issues cause child abuse.
Okay, so at some point this thing has effect on people and has effect on the child, right? So man, what's this slight effect it has on children?
Okay, child abuse, one of the effects child abuse has on children is that they lose trust in people. It affects their ability to trust people because the people that were supposed to protect them are those people that end up abusing them in whatever form, and it is very possible that they transfer such behaviors to other people as well.
So what do you think?
Effects of child abuse can also be termed as a child feels worthless.
Okay.
When a child is being abused, he or she feels that he's worthless and probably believes that his or her own parents are not his, and among his own peers or peers, a child begins to feel inferior amongst his or her own peers, even in class and all of that too. That's one of the effects of child abuse.
Okay, I want to say that emotionally the child is being drained seriously because the child as a child, there are so many things to think about that even adults don't think about it. As I was growing up, there are so many things I'll be thinking about, and I don't think any adult will be thinking about it, but they'll be wondering, this child is not supposed to think. Well, I'm actually thinking. I don't know if I thought it happened to any of you, because you are actually sitting down, like you'll be thinking of so many things. People are playing outside. Okay, my house, they don't allow us to play outside. So people are playing outside, and I'm wondering, why are they not allowing us to play outside? So this kind of things can go through my head. So I wonder what will be going through every other child who is being beaten up for one thing or the other. And as tender as they may look, they get to have to think about so many things. But let's go straight up. Types of child abuse. We have emotional, we have child neglect, we have physical, and we also have the physical bulls class. So let's go. Emotional abuse. What is emotional abuse to a child?
Emotional child abuse is when somebody harms a child, not physically, but you're harming a child with your words, you're harming a child with your perceived actions, interpretation of your actions. Words are very powerful, and I think as children growing up, words have a lasting impression on children. So if you don't want them to grow up feeling worthless while you were just trying to correct them, you have to use the right words at all times.
Okay, so let's go. Physical abuse.
Okay, physical abuse has to do with battering, has to do with beating, and all other forms of violence that has to do with beating and all of that. Some parents go to the extent of using any material they see and any object they see in beating a child in order for them to correct a child. Some even go as far as biting a child and all of this one. So it's a deep thing altogether. And so a child growing up with that kind of environment tends to be violent in society. Tends to see every other human being that disrespects he or her as a person that wants to be beaten. So a child that grows up with that ability goes out to the society and begin to exhibit and be his or her strength and pertaining to what it has been done to them at home.
Okay, I see. Child neglect.
Okay, child neglect is when you do not pay adequate attention to your child, and I feel as parents we should prioritize our children, our priority. If there are certain things you can delegate so that you have more time for your children, it is worth doing, because those children will grow up to be is largely what they will grow up to be is largely dependent on how you raise them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I would want to come back to you that the physical and the bathroom. You've seen a like thank God you even said biting the child. I don't know whoever told parents that biting your child is a form of correcting your child. But I feel at some point, okay, let's forget about parents for now. You have children staying with other people. A child stays with relatives and all that. And most of the times, from what I've seen, they get more beating from those ones that are not their parents.
Okay.
Like they have to stay with other people and then they get. You look at it and be like, oh, now because nobody will picking. That's the insinuation we get. But then even when they are with their parents, sometimes they receive those kind of beatings. So at what level do you think a parent should look and say, okay, at this junction, this child should not be treated like this. This battering is not for this child, because I think there should be a limit to everything. So at what level?
All right, so it comes back to parenting. Most times a parent needs to set the rules, and they need to engage these rules. For example, a child that steals, a parent might write the rules for the house. Stealing it's equivalent to 4 strokes of the cane and all of those things. So the children tends to know their punishment and tends to know the amount of strokes being given to them for that particular punishment. But mostly, sadly to say that most times in homes around the world, you see that when a child commits a crime, the parents come all out. Sometimes you even see a father and a mother beating up a child for a particular issue that the child has committed and all of that. So all of these things tends to make the child broken and moving forward.
Okay. Now let's go to sexual abuse. Sexual child abuse. Yes, sexual child abuse.
Okay, as parents, it's very important that we protect our children, because we've seen an increase in the rise of pedophiles everywhere, and it is very important that you take extra care, especially for your children. Okay, you don't leave them with people you don't trust. And something very important is, this is the 21st century. A lot has changed. We have situations where your child will come and talk to you and say, this person abused me, and you say it's a lie. That is one of the most heartbreaking, experiences for me. There is nothing that is unbelievable in this world that we live in right now. So you have to take extra caution with your children.
Okay, so what do you have to say on this?
All right, for sexual abuse, I would say that there are a whole lot of forms of sexual abuse.
Okay.
Apart from the touchy part and all of that, there are a lot. For example, we have cartoons that are meant for teenagers. We have cartoons that are meant for children. But you see where parents are allowing children to watch cartoons of teenagers and all of those things. There are movies for adults plus 18 and all of those things. So it's a whole ball game altogether. Parents need to understand these things in particular. And children are being exposed to pornographic materials, pornographic movies and all of that, because parents are careless about what's happening around them and all of that. So I believe that if parents can look further and see these issues, I believe that it will solve a lot of problems concerning child abuse.
Okay, so parents can hear. As in, try and make sure that whatever your child is watching online, watching in the house, you're watching TV, you're watching Nigerian movie, and they are showing all the kissing and romance. Your child that is growing up too is sitting down there watching it with you. Only God knows what your child will do with another person that is even an adult, because adults, in short, some of them are their parents. There's actually a case that happened like it was even the father of the house that was actually molesting his daughter.
Yes, several times.
And the girl is a minor, like way too low to be a minor. She's like 6 years. You can imagine that kind of scenario, and this is happening like around, and she could not tell anybody, or maybe even if I thought she told her mom or something, who would believe her at that point in time? That's because people don't think this kind of things can happen to them. It can happen to anybody, because you don't know who is who. You don't even know if I thought your partner is like that. So just be careful. Now let's go to being able to control our anger as adults. I'm talking about abusive adults now. At what point do you think an adult should checkmate himself? Like, okay, I'm crossing the boundary.
Okay. As adults, I believe we know when we're crossing the line.
Okay.
Because there has to be an intention for every correction.
Mm.
And your intention for the correction is love, not hatred. So when you're crossing the line, you should know. So because you love that child, there's a certain way you correct the child. Your goal of correcting the child is to instill values, not to terrify the child. So make sure that your correction is instilling values, not just battering the child or emotionally abusing the child.
Okay, so let's go.
All right. For me, I believe that it has to do with every form. You know, you see where a parent is correcting a child. It boils down to anger. Some come with a whole lot of fury and all of that, and they feel that for example, some of the parents goes out, and when they come back, maybe they are being in their workplaces, they're angry and all that. When they come back, they put it on the child, transfer aggression, and begin to, and all of those things. So I believe that all of these things can be learned. I believe that all of these things can be learned, because the truth is, love is key to that child. That child might not even know what he or she is doing at that point, but as a parent, you need to show them that love to correct them properly.
Okay, then I also think that abusive adults are more like people that cannot meet up, where they start neglecting their children.
Okay.
Like they give birth to children in this life, and they are not supposed to, because some people are not supposed to give birth to children yet.
Okay.
See these, excuse me, but you see these boys and girls that don't have anything doing, and then give birth to a child. I don't know who they are thinking will take care of that child. I don't know, because I actually feel if you know that you're giving birth to a child and you cannot take care of a child, you are actually abusing the child from day one.
Yes, exactly.
You are abusing the child from day one, because most parents, like I realize that most times when people give birth to children, it's not like they are not doing anything. They are well to do. They are doing fine, but they keep thinking, oh, how am I going to train this child? Will I have everything it takes? That's a parent that has a foresight. But you see these ones that just feel that, no, they don't feel it is sex that brings this child. So they just feel they want to have fun, and at the end give births that are not ready for it. That's the first form of abuse. I'm sorry I'm coming out rightly like this, but this is it. The first form of abuse you're giving to that child is not meeting up to being a parent, being a guardian, and that includes financially. You not being able to take care of your child is the first one, and that's where me personally, I feel that's the first abuse you give to a child. You see this other beating. In short, most of the time the anger comes in when you're not even able to get things for them. Yeah. That's when the beating starts coming in. It is easy for me to bring this and you're bringing it to the poor child. The child is not the cause of your problem. You're actually the cause of your problem. So before you're thinking of going to sleep with somebody or have sex with somebody that will not produce to care for us, guy, you should know that you're ready for the next challenge. It's a challenge that's coming up. Yeah, children are blessings, yes, but then are you yourself, are you ready to be a blessing to that child? That's the first question first. So now we know very well that we can always stop abuse. So how can we support people that are actually abusing their children out there?
Okay, for me, I believe that it also comes to parenting. A lot of our parents today are not willing to learn new forms of parenting.
Okay.
So I believe that even some parents today don't read books about parenting. people are giving birth and they don't read books about parenting, how to bring up a child, and all of those things. They just use their old nature they've gotten from the past or from their parents, how they were being brought up and all of that, scolding, shouting, beating, and all of those things. So I believe that they need to go back and get materials for parenting. They also need to get themselves involved in seminars of parenting and all of those things. I believe that will help bring in the best out
of them. What do you think? Any other one?
Yes, I think parents have to open up themselves to correction as well, because a lot of times parents may know that they've done something wrong. They know they were not supposed to treat this child this way, but then they've done it and they cannot apologize. Yes, they don't ever apologize. When you do something wrong to your child and you're able to apologize, when that child is wrong at any point in their lives, they would also be able to apologize. So it helps you as a person become better when you're able to apologize.
Okay.
It will help you become better.
Okay. Sure, you've heard. So daddy, mommies, guardians out there, you guys should, if you beat up a child or you abuse a child and you know that even if somebody abuses you like that, you would not like it, try and pest the child. You might not tell the child, oh, I'm sorry. There are other ways you can actually bring back that child, like pest the child, buy the child something, and then you now still talk to the child. See this thing you did, I would have not beaten you like this, but because of anger, that's why I did it like this. But see, take this one. Next time, don't do it again. That child will not do it again. That's the point you're trying to drive here. And then if you cannot, if you're still having issues like that, get professional help. They're out there. You could try one. You could always talk to these people with me here. Yes. Because see the way they're talking now, I mean, so much knowledge is coming out of it. So let's go. A child that is already abused.
Okay.
How do we resolve?
Okay, for a child that is already abused, first thing first, the parents need to instill trust in that child.
Okay.
How can the parents do that? The parents need to be open to that child. A lot of times the children are communicating to the parents, but the parents are not listening because they are looking for means to make livelihood and all of those things. Many of the times you see where the parents are telling, go and sleep, or go and meet the dad. The dad is telling the child, go and meet your mom, go and meet. When the child goes to the mom, go and meet your dad, go and meet go and sleep, and all of those things. So parents need to be open, and parents need to let the child trust them, so that they're able to tell them what's going on in their environment. But most times parents don't even know what's happening in the environment. They don't know. Honestly, they don't have an idea. So that's it.
Okay. Still on trying to help an abused child.
Okay. First of all, if your child comes to you, or if any child comes to you and says, I'm being abused, you owe that child the benefit of the doubt. You have to listen to the child. Ruling the possibility of such abuse out is not fair at all. A lot of times we feel like children are as manipulative as adults, so we tend to discard whatever they are saying. They are not that manipulative. A lot of times they can't just come up with such things, so you have to listen to them and you have to help them in any way you can. Professional help, maybe if you speak to the parents, things will change, but believe them and help in any way you can.
Okay. Then I want to say, you try to, a child that is already abused, the child is already feeling less of a person. Because I think anytime, okay, let's go straight to sexual abuse. Anytime the child sees the person who abuses him coming, the child is scared already. The child is scared because nobody is going to listen to her if at all she tries to. I know of somebody that was abused, and anytime she wanted to tell her guardian that, oh, this is what he does to me. The guardian actually tells her that she should stop wearing things like that in the house. That is not true. Nobody is doing anything to her in the house. That nobody does anything to her in the house. That she should stop wearing, is it short skirts, or what? She was about 9 years old, and then when she kept complaining, it wasn't really her mom. She was staying with her relatives. So anytime she complained, they're like, stop wearing short things in the house and all that. So at that point, she could not even tell anybody again. So anytime he comes, he was also a relative in the house. Anytime he comes, she just gives him. as at the age of 9, up till like it happened for like 2 to 3 years. So it kept happening, and so she could not speak out again. The only time she tried telling somebody was the time she was scolded that she's lying. So like, you trying to listen to the child at first, like they are not wrong. Assure them that they are not wrong with what they are saying. They will start talking, and you don't have to see immediately. You tell the child it is you are at fault, or this. You already spoil everything. You make the child feel like, oh, maybe it's okay, maybe this thing is normal. That's what happened. So guardians, people should try, like, try and make sure you listen, pay listening ears. You don't interrogate them intermittently. Like, you don't do that. Allow them pour everything out to you. And then, my guy, my girl out there, you want to be this thing. You want to be the savior of our time. If you cannot do it on your own, please report first before you start taking actions. Because by the time you go to meet somebody that is abusing somebody, that why will you do this to this person? Why will you a minor and all that? That person will do you strong thing. You don't know who is who. So like I would say, just try and make sure there are human rights are out there. We have them. So look for a way to report to the necessary body that will handle the case. So any other contribution so that we can call it a wrap?
Okay, I feel we have a responsibility to build a good society. If you're a guardian and you have someone staying with you, a child, look at it like this child could become the best. It could become somebody tomorrow. It could become a governor or a president. It could start a non-governmental organization that could change lives. Okay, so treat every child with respect. Treat everybody with respect. See it as your personal responsibility.
Okay, Mark.
All right, and for me, is that parents should learn not to use the abusive words on their kids, and they should learn to encourage them. There's something that the Japanese does. People from kindergarten to the primary school ages, they don't give them results. They don't give them first, second, third, fourth. No, what they do is that they just give them grades, and everybody has passed and all of those things. Why they are making everybody feel equal, so that a child will not come to the house and say, "Hey, you paid school fees and all of that, you failed." But parents should learn to trust and learn to encourage their children for them to grow. So that's the final.
Okay. I'm aware you have small non-governmental the same for children also.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So let's hear about it.
Okay, it's called Makoze Foundation.
Okay.
It's about the girl child.
Okay.
And recently we just inculcated Amajiri children. Those children from the north, Amajiri, those children from the north that begs on the streets. So all of that. So that's what Makoze Foundation is about.
Okay, so what do you guys do?
Okay, what we basically do is that we provide stationaries for children, especially for female children, for girl child education and all of that. Then secondly, we look out for the Amajiris, because I've been in the north for some time, so we look out for the Amajiris. You see children of 6, 5, 7, 8, 9 years, not up to 12 years, on the streets. They're begging, they're sleeping out on the
child
streets
neglect
and all of those things. So we are looking out for all of that.
Okay, so you've heard. So my own is, if you want to be part of his foundation, like they're doing a good job, it's all right. If you want to be part of it, please do well to reach out to him. You will see his details on that after now. And I want to say a very big thank you to Miss Idimia George. Thank you. And so Mr. Mark Ingbe, I'm very grateful. So viewers out there, it's a wrap from Crystal Show on child abuse. The next one you will be seeing is on relationship abuse. I want to say thank you for subscription. Thank you for also trying to comment on our post. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for liking. Do well to send out to your friends. You don't know who might need to hear this. This is on child abuse. You don't know the parents that is around you that is not supposed to give birth but has gone to give birth, so that they will help, they will stop it, they will hold themselves so that they will not come and neglect children around us. Then we don't know who is emotionally battering their child, who is physically beating up somebody, and who is also sexually abusing somebody around you. So do well to share. Thank you very much. We love you from us. Stay safe. Use your hand sanitizers, wash your hands, and try to maintain social distance as usual. Thank you.